G'day gamers, this guide is going to cover everything you need to know about PMC spawns on labs. There's going to be a lot of information in this guide, so please check the progress bar above or the chapters in the description to skip to the sections that interest you. To start with, I'll be going in depth into common pathways from every spawn, explaining when and where you could run into PMCs. Then, if you're just after raiders, I'll show the path to the nearest switch that can spawn raiders. And if you just want to survive for the guide, dailies or weeklies, then I will show you the safest pathway from each spawn to maximize the likelihood of surviving. Finally, some additional information like an optimal pathway to check if PMCs have spawned in your raid. Okay, from the top of Greenside Stairs, if you run down here, you could hit the top of Blue Side Stairs, like right immediately. Unlikely though, usually they go down to blue or even basement. But we'll close that. You could hit like bottom of switch, O-switch spawn down there. I'm not 100% sure if these spawns can spawn together. I'm pretty sure they can, but not 100% sure. Anyway, but if they can, then you could hit them running through here fairly like within the first 5 seconds of the raid. So just keep an eye out for that. And then coming out here, there's the bottom of Blue Side Stairs, so under blue spawn, that can come up and be out here by the time you've ran down. Or top of Blue Side. And then out here, then under managers could be running here, and they often like to sometimes they'll run up to server, or they'll run here, hold the right hand, stuff like that, hold the cross. So yeah, just be careful of that. If you're going to run down here, you got to be careful of those spawns and other managers, depending on how slow you are. But if you do want to come through here, then by this time, you could have server spawn, or hang your ramp spawn around there, or on metal over here. Really just coming through any section, but usually around the edge or up the top, as well as just keep an eye up here for under manager spawn running up here, and then later on, freezer spawn coming over. That is pretty much it for top of Greenside Stairs. From O-switch, you can sometimes hear sewer spawn, like if they're running immediately on metal. And if you do, just let them see if they're going to run to you, because if they run all the way down here, you just wait until they get close, crouch right side peek. Doesn't matter if there's 5 of them, they're instantly dead. If you're slow here, like if you just chill here, then sometimes server spawn will run up and drop down, hit O, then come out, and you can kill them with an easy right hand. Also, if you're a bit slow, then often like the under blue spawn will run towards you, and you gotta be very careful of this. A lot of people do like to do this and just hold here, but you know, if I'm coming from that direction, this door is open. Even if I've heard nothing, I'll try to like land a nade right here, because this is such a common tactic. Anyway, so if we're immediately running up, could possibly hit top of Greenside Stairs, and I like to just chill here, listen for server spawn coming, and under managers could come this way, and of course top of Blue Side Stairs and bottom of Blue Side Stairs could be running down this hallway, which is fairly dangerous for them because there's not much cover. You can shoot straight through the tents. But if you are chilling here, vertical audio is such that you won't hear someone coming down here most of the time. You need to be keeping an eye on this. Don't just chill up here and only have all your attention on this floor. You need to be keeping an eye on down here. You should hear metal above though. So yeah. Anyway, once you go to black, if you go to black, then yeah, depending on how quickly you get here, all those spawns I mentioned, under managers, server, top of Greenside, under blue, above blue, could all be running here and have a nice big fight. Later on, like another 20-30 seconds into the raid, you might have the further spawns coming over to see what's happening. That is it for medical switch or O-switch spawn. So, top of Blue Side Stairs spawn, usually I run straight down to the basement, but I'll show the other couple of pathways first. You could come out here, and immediately you could be hitting the top of Greenside Stairs spawn if they decide to push out. So just be careful of that. Usually just like do a run past, peek, have a look. Like you can see if the stair door is open. So if it's open, be very careful that someone's down there. And if you do want to like keep checking spawns, and you could run out here, and right over there, well, in maybe like 20 seconds of the raid, there could be parking spawn, and the Dark Officer's first floor spawn could be up here. So just be careful of that. Now, if we wanted to go down blue, so almost immediately we could have Officer's first floor, Dark Officer's first floor, peeking this angle. So what you want to do is do a run past, see if either of the doors are open because they spawn closed. If they're closed, then he's probably not there. If they're open, then he's probably vibing somewhere around here. Be very, very, very careful. And then do a run past to see if any of these doors are open. These all spawn closed, so they're open now. So then we could assume that there is someone over there. You would rarely want to push up if the doors are open because you have no cover. And my preferred route from top of blue side stairs spawn is to go straight down to the basement. Be careful of someone right here, or usually they're like chilling right here, painkilling or whatever. Run down. And you want to be careful of someone at O switch. They could be like crouched, shooting you through that gap there, or just ready to right side peek you out from the door. So we like to just throw a nade. Throw a nade, push up with the nade. Push up. Just clear, clear, clear. And then we can push up into and possibly hit top of green side stairs spawn. And if you then go up here, you might hear, say, server spawn or under managers looting black. That is pretty much it for top of blue side stairs. Now for under blue spawn, I love to usually run towards server because that's the intersection of most spawns, but we'll just cover up here real quick and then go the other way. So up here, you have top of blue side stairs, right immediately above you, and then do a run past to check if those doors are open because there's the Dark Officers spawn right up there, and those two doors spawn closed. They spawn closed, so you just want to check if they're coming. If he decides to push you, it's a really easy kill because there's no good cover for them, unless he gets into janitors and has a right side peek behind hard cover. But yeah, you can run out here. If you do run out here, you're going to be pushing into like server spawn and top of green side, bottom of green side, all and under managers could all peek here, and you just have very little cover. So I wouldn't recommend this. But let's go the other direction. So now if we decide to go to server, don't run in the middle, because if there's someone spawns down the end, they could snipe you with a voodoo eraser or whatever. So just run always in these hallways, run to the side. And when you're opening doors, open it to the side and just do like run past. Just try not to walk in a straight line ever. You know? So what I'd like to do is get here, and then we could try to throw a nade. Even if you've heard nothing. Even if you've heard nothing, we'll try to get a nade in that doorway. Boom. That kind of went close enough. There. Try again. Try to get a nade into that doorway. A little bit further, please. Push up with the nade. That might have killed them. But yeah, just be careful. They could be like right there. And then you might hear metal of sewer spawn running down here, possibly. But then come up here, and you could have top of green side stairs spawn. And just vibe here, and you can listen for hanger ramp or anyone else coming to black. Dark Officer's first floor is one of the trickiest spawns to survive off of, because if you immediately run this way, you could instantly hit top of blue side stairs coming down and holding this stairwell with a crouch right side. So it's a big no-no to push this way. Basically, whoever pushes this corridor against the other person generally dies because there's no cover either way, and you can like throw nades in the gap up there. So that's a bad idea. You could also run straight to parking. This is probably the safest option, maybe, in a full lobby. Straight to parking. If you immediately run straight to parking, right? If you without painkillering, you could be opening this door by and let's say they decide to push out and painkiller, you can be out of this door while they're still in the painkiller animation. Like if they run up, open the door, painkiller, like with Golden Star, Ibuprofen, or Vaseline, then they could still be in the animation, and you can just, it's an easy kill. So this is one way you can catch parking off guard. But anyway, those doors spawn closed, so if they're open and you don't see anyone immediately, then either they've immediately ran this way, but you should have heard them. If you haven't heard them, then they're up at switch or parking office over there. Now, you could, getting to the little bit more of the riskier ways to run, you could immediately either run up to green or up to yellow. So up to yellow, you would pretty much have the same thing. You could have parking spawn being up there. A little bit risky because like if the other spawns have longer ranges, like top of green side stairs could be out here with the voodoo sniping at you, or freezer could be out with the voodoo sniping you, or even under managers. So a little bit riskier. You got to keep moving fast. But yeah, you could push to outside yellow and then to parking if you want. Less common is you could push up here, and same thing again. You could have green side, top of green side stairs spawn peeking out here with a crouch right side, or server right down the far end, or blue, top of blue side stairs running out here and peeking here. So not great ways to run from the spawn. Not many good options. Usually I run either to yellow or under yellow and try to catch out parking spawn. Like you can run down here, see if it's open. If it's not open, then maybe they're slow, and you push around here and even push in and clear it. Anyway, that is it for Dark Office's first floor. Okay, from under managers spawn, 3 ways you could run. Straight to basement if you want. Now someone could be peeking that long angle within 10 seconds of the raid. That's main switch spawn could be peeking this, so be very careful about hanging here too long. Really what I do is hug left and immediately run to G if I'm going to go down the basement. And then you just need to be careful of hearing metal, listening for metal behind you, because the under parking spawn could run this way. Very rare they run this way off spawn, but they could. And shoot you in the back. But that's why you might hug to the right side, so that you're covered, at least visually, not from bullets, but visually from by this top barrier thing. If you want to push the PvP a bit more, then you could run immediately up here, and either head straight out to black or up here. So let's say we want to push server. People in server will get the initial audio of like you running up these steps, but as you get to the top, they'll stop getting your audio. So they might be either there, or if you're nice and quick, then they could be either in the window or right there. So sometimes what I like to do is instead push closer and check the windows and peek around. This is all gambling on the fact that freezer spawn doesn't kill you, doesn't shoot in the back, which they normally don't. Normally you're a little bit too far away, but they'll like whiff, and you'll be able to run to cover. You get to realize that you get a shot at and run to cover. Another way to run, so if we want to run straight to black, we could just like run it in black, painkiller, and listen for top of green stairs or O switch or server. I mean a hanger ramp coming out of here, or top of blue side running this way, and bottom of blue side. This is a very common junction for all these spawns. Or you could just like run here, hold this right hand, which is really nice. Or if you want to be a little bit sneaky, you can run immediately up here and try to catch server spawn as they're like running down, thinking that they're super safe. Server spawn doesn't usually expect someone to be here this quickly in the raid, this fast in the raid. Let's pop this. There's not much reason to push the other direction up here, but if you do decide to, then you could have like Dark Officers spawn right here or up there if they decide to go up and loot the offices, and like top of blue, bottom of blue around here if they decide to run this way. And then a little bit later on, you can have like parking spawn pushing through to yellow to check the other side of the map. But, you know, not really much point of running this way unless you just want to hit the center sneakily before people notice you running around. But that is it for under managers. Now, from parking spawn, you could go up or down. So we'll cover up first. Immediately if you run out, open this. If you then want a painkiller out here, you got to be very careful of bottom of dark officers spawn, first floor dark officers spawn, pushing out here because they could peek and kill you before you have finished painkillering. So you know you could like painkiller before opening the doors, but then they might be ADS on the door before you open it. So you know what are you gonna do? And you also got to be careful of here. Dark officers come peeking here, and maybe like 5-10 seconds later they could have just ran up and be peeking here. So yeah, if you want to immediately run out here though, you could potentially catch out Skybridge spawn. Often Skybridge players, if they're like newer to labs and they kind of really just want to check red and violet, which is right there, and like the green key card spawn, and if they're a little bit slow, then you can catch them as they're running out to red office. But then you got to be careful of dark officers first floor peeking here, and then maybe like 10 seconds behind them, top of blue side stairs spawn might want a path here as well to check on your spawn. So be careful of that. Oh, and of course, reception first floor could be like peeking up here, easy within 10 seconds of the raid. So yeah. But now, if we go under, if we go down, immediately, if you run down here, you could have someone right there. So this is the under parking spawn that just spawns around the corner. You could hit them right here if you like if you both decide to painkiller, or if you both decide to not painkiller and just sprint off, you could hit them right there. You like pretty much every time they're slower than that though. So I like to do a run past peak, and if they spawn there, then they're usually vibing here, or you can hear them running around here. And also, so let's say under parking sprint straight at you, you could hit them right here. If they're not there, then you could also have main switch spawn, which is just over there, come around here, and you could hit them right here if they decide to run this way. So a lot of action in the first 10-15 seconds of the raid, depending on how many painkillers and stims the spawns decide to use and which way they decide to run. And that is it for parking spawn. Oh, no it isn't. No it isn't. And lastly, this is a bit of a weird direction to run. I recommend never ever running this way, but you could run through long, or Z or S, whatever you call it. And open here. This is very dangerous. Do not ever run this way because reception could just be ADS on you. They'll hear you running up. But reception spawn, if they go into dark, see how dark that is? See how dark that is? It's impossible for you to see them if they're just like crouched there ADS on your location. Impossible. And then if by some miracle they're there and you are able to start running across, this wood is so loud, they know exactly where you are. So if there's someone in, so like Skybridge spawn in the offices, or reception spawn in dark, it's virtually suicide. Like, do not run this way, ever, from parking spawn. Very, very, very bad. Alright, that's it for parking spawn. From under parking spawn, you could run this way, or that way towards O. We're going to cover this way first. So immediately as you run out here, you could have parking spawn right there and main switch spawn right there, even if you run there immediately. But pretty much everyone else is very, very slow. So usually I just sprint up to parking spawn without painkillering and try to catch them off guard if they're just like chilling and, I don't know, not doing much. And then yeah, so you can hit main switch here. if you're a little bit slow, then the under Skybridge spawn could be ADS on this location, but it very rarely happens. Almost never happens. Now for the other direction, this is not a great idea to run this way. It's not a great idea unless you just want to survive the raid, but we'll cover that later in the video. Because like you can run down here, but if either O switch spawn or under blue spawn decide to go to G switch, they will hear this metal very, very clearly, and they will know exactly where you are, and they will hold a right side crouch peek at this door right there, which is right there, and you will die, most likely. So it's not a great way to run. I almost never, ever, ever run this way. Don't do it. I wouldn't do it. Technically, you can run out into the center there, but there's not much point. That is it for under parking spawn. From main switch spawn, you could go up there, or you could go around here. We'll cover around here first. So immediately as you turn this corner, you could have the under parking spawn holding right there. Or sometimes if they're feeling a little bit safer, then they might path around there and hold there. And you could have parking spawn holding right there. So be careful of that. If they're not there, you could have under Skybridge, like prone right there. Because they can get there in like under 10 seconds. And also under manager spawn could be like right down there. So in, you know, virtually instantly. So in the first 3-4 seconds. So it's pretty sketchy to push this way, but I usually do it. And so I usually push around to parking and try to catch parking off guard and listen out for footsteps in that direction and pray I don't get shot from behind. The other direction you could run, the other common direction you could run is right up here. Now, this is very scary because reception spawn could be right there, or he could be in there and it's very, very difficult to see him. And he will hear this metal very clearly and just ADS right on you. So will, and potentially so will, like Skybridge spawn who've run into red and violet office. So yeah, I wouldn't push out here, but you could push around here maybe. It's a little bit risky because if parking spawn have pushed out here, then they will also know instantly where the metal is, and they can just start, like, they will hear you run up and they just start pre-firing. So basement is probably a better idea. Probably a better idea. Probably the safest way to run is from here, either through the doors or just through this connector, and you could fight under Skybridge spawn. Just be careful, he can see your feet if he's paying attention. But most people are slow, so if you're pretty quick, he might be holding like this at that angle there. And that is it for main switch spawn. Alright, for under Skybridge, if you do feel like chilling here, then potentially sewer spawn might run straight to you. Doesn't happen too often, but the most common way to run is straight up here to Skybridge. Skybridge could be jumping straight out this window fairly quickly, but they need fairly high strength for that, so more likely later in the wipe. So watch out for that. They could be up there, and I like to just chill here, listen for wood for like reception or parking spawns to come over. Then you can find them around here, or if you run straight up, then you might have like freezer spawn right there, Skybridge if they're slow, or Skybridge inside red and violet already if they're quick. And then of course parking spawn could be right at that angle over there. Let's head down to the other direction. If you'd like to head this way instead towards main switch, then you could have main switch spawn like right there or over there almost immediately. And notice how I'm like off to the side here. This is because if I was off in the middle, then you could have you could hit under parking spawn coming out there, peeking there, and parking spawn peeking there. And then finally, if you peek down here, you could have under manager spawn pushing out here. Unlikely though. For sewer spawn, basically if you hug left, you're just gambling that there's no one at O switch who's just crouch right side peeking and waiting to kill you. Because if you run all this way, all this metal is really, really loud. They will hear you. And they might just decide to wait down the end there, wait to get close. And as you might see, you have very little cover. Very, very little cover. Like you could hang here, but this is not a happy position to be in. But usually they would just wait until you get close and then poke out and kill you. So wouldn't suggest running this way. Alternatively, you could run to under managers if you just want to get to the center as quickly as possible. So we run around there, go to under managers and push up. But it's not a great way to run because you could have under managers, you know, right, like listening to you and holding like on that box, and suddenly again you're in a hallway with very little cover. Or you could have the basement spawns over there, so like under Skybridge could be holding over there, and main switch could be poking out over there. Because this metal is really, really, really loud. You're basically telling everyone in the basement where you are. So wouldn't really recommend running that way. The main way I run is straight down into towards the under Skybridge spawn, down to the end there. That door has similar problems as the last one. Yeah, there's not much point in running through there. Just when you're here, because you have a right side, if they are waiting there to peek out, at least you're right hand versus left hand, so you have the advantage. But just like if you're worried, carefully line this up. You know, peek across, look around, and see if they're waiting for you. Because yeah, because under Skybridge could just peek out, it spawns here and could just peek out at any moment. But then from here, I would just like push upstairs and fight around red. And that is it for sewer spawn. Okay, from hangar ramp spawn, there are two main ways to run, towards hangar or towards server. Let's run towards server first. So fairly quickly, almost like right now, you could have under managers right there. So instead of hard picking it, just do a run past, see if he's there. You could be like right there, or if you're a little bit slow, in the close the doorway. But if you don't want to risk that, and if you don't mind making a bit of noise, then you can just jump through here, break the window. Now, when you're here, you should be listening for metal on stairs from O switch spawn running up, or top of green stairs running down, or someone running along metal, under managers running along metal up there. I like to just check to see if anyone's hitting O switch. See if that door's open. It spawns closed. Then just listen out for wood over there, wood here, because then you'll know that they're pushing up. And you won't get much audio from much vertical audio. So you need to be really paying attention to up here, because they can silently peek you. So be paying attention here and peek down there while you're paying attention to up there, because here you could have medical switch, top of green side, and under managers all like around here by the time you've ran to here, as well as like the bottom of blue, like under blue spawn and top of blue side stairs running down the hallway. So yeah, lots and lots of action can happen right here very quickly, but again, make sure you're paying attention up there because you will not get much audio at all. Where I like to run actually, and you'll need to be on painkillers for this, I often like to run down here, aim for the cone, 50-50 break your legs. I didn't break my legs. And I like to catch O switch, a medical switch spawn off guard, because usually the direction they ran is through here and they're sitting up here. And the majority of the time, if they're sitting up here, they're unaware that they won't get audio from below them, so you can just peek up here and kill them. But if they're slow of spawn, then they have the right side on you and you're in a dead end, and it's not a happy time. Not a happy time at all. That's it for this direction of hangar ramp spawn. We'll go to the other direction now. Audio turtle. Ah, nice. That's good. Already had the extra RAM. Ah, sick. That's good. That's good. That's good. And that's good. Well, from server, you could also run out here and head towards kitchen. But the first thing you want to look at is if either of those doors are open, because they spawn closed. And if either are open, then there's probably a PMC somewhere around here. And you got to be careful of undermanaged spawn being in this area. Like sometimes they immediately just run up. And just listen for like metal behind you from top of green side and stuff, and bottom of green side stairs. But yeah, you can run this way. Just keep an eye on over there and push through kitchen if you want. Finally, if you decide to run up hangar ramp, then you could go deep to the right. And there'll be very low risk until you get to the freezer, the double doors and the freezer. But if you want to run up here, then freezer spawn could be right there as you're coming up. So yeah, you got to be very, very careful of that. Freezer could be right in this area, just as you're hitting the top here. So be very, very careful. And all this metal here, once you get to the top, will be extremely loud for them. They will know exactly where you are. That is it for hangar ramp spawn. So this is freezer spawn. If you spawn here within like 3 seconds, Skybridge could be on the Skybridge itself and ADSing onto you with a voodoo. So make sure you move off spawn. And within like 10 seconds, they could be pushing around here. Maybe like they might throw an aid here, forcing you back and then push around. So like if you run around here, they could be like right there. Just be careful. The main way I like to run is either towards server or towards red. So if we went towards red, then about here we could have Skybridge spawn peeking out there, and then we could also have the reception pushing up there, and a little bit later pushing up here. So you got to be very careful. And then when you peek out here, you could have parking spawn right there. So it's a big chaotic area to fight. Many spots people can look at you from. But I prefer to run this way towards server because if you run out here, if hangar spawn is running immediately to you up here, once you get here, then it could be right there. It could be right there. Or like in this general area. So, but you will hear them on metal. Like the metal is very loud. So listen for that. And when you're about here, be listening for metal from hangar ramp spawn pushing into server, or you'll hear the metal of top of greenside stairs or bottom of greenside stairs spawn running around the stairs. Excuse me. And you might see, like by about here, you might see undermanager spawn running up and trying to get a sneaky angle on server spawn. So lots and lots of opportunities to get some kills. And like you could run down here. It's a little bit of the safer route. Like go down there, go down to basement. Do need to keep an eye on the Skybridge because Skybridge spawn could peek out there. Or if you want to like get in behind hangar ramp spawn, to keep thinking heading to server, then you could run back around here to the left and come up behind server spawn. But and you should hear them on metal if they're going for the switch, so you can fight them there as well. But this is a very chaotic area to fight. There are lots of different little angles. I wouldn't recommend fighting here unless you really know hangar well, like all the little different angles of boxes and stuff. And that is pretty much it for freezer spawn. Alright, from Skybridge, you could immediately run out, and if you had like a voodoo or something, you could take shots at freezer spawn. If you're not out of this area nice and quick, in like 12-14 seconds, you could have parking spawn poking, shooting at you over there, as well as reception spawn poking up right there. But yeah, so just be careful. If you do want to get out of this area, then immediately run down the stairs or into red and violet. Or, you could push towards freezer, but if you push down here, then you're peeking into a left hand, so not a great idea. Wouldn't suggest it. And there are two ways to get out of the windows, over there and over here. Just go here, and then you'll land on the little side bits. See how I don't break my legs? If you land on that one, and the garden bed. And the second spot is over by the far end. And you can also get out the window here. You do need fairly high strength for this. But yeah. Jump up and then walk out. Make sure to land on the garden bed or you're likely to fracture your legs. You can also jump out of the Skybridge itself. However, I mean, like if you've run out of the Skybridge, you may as well just run the whole way down the stairs. But you just do it like this. Crouch. For all of these, it's a crouch jump and look down. If you have trouble jumping to stream in, I don't know. I'll show you how to do it. It's pretty easy. You need fairly high strength though. And yeah, so what I normally do from Skybridge is actually I run down here, painkiller here, because I like to hear the wood of if reception spawn is running to me. And you can also hear if like the under Skybridge spawn is running up, so you can fight them. Or if parking spawn sometimes will run to the center here. You can hear them very clearly, or they might even run across to under red. And so this is a nice spot to fight from. I really do like fighting here, because if people come from this direction, you can have this right hand and just watch your back over here. And if someone's coming down the stairs, you have a right hand here. But if you know for sure someone's in safe room, then you can like peek like this. Like either they'll be on this angle, they'll be here. And you can like swing around like this. You know, it's just a nice area to fight for me. One more route for Skybridge. Run through here and head straight to Freezer. You just gotta be careful that Freezer, because Freezer spawn might be using like a voodoo or something and looking through the windows. So just if you're gonna come down here, walk to one side. Don't walk in the middle of the hallway and do like run past and stuff. Just don't stay in the middle for too long. Otherwise you're begging to get sniped. But you can head this way. If no one spawned here, then you can keep heading to server and, you know, listening for metal over there for hanger ramp spawn. And also hanger ramp spawn might be on metal over there. And you should also be able to hear, well, by this point, if you're around here, you will be able to hear the top and bottom of green side stairs running around on the stairs. So you can decide what to do from there. And that is it for Skybridge spawn. So from reception, you have a lot of options. The main way I run from reception is straight under red. And immediately you could have Freezer right there and Skybridge if they're slow over here. Or if they're a little bit quicker, they could be they could have ran past and be like in red office right now. Or if you really want more PvP action, then you could like run straight upstairs and potentially have parking spawn over there and Skybridge right here. It's a little bit risky. Rarely, but parking sometimes does like to push through here, so be a little bit careful. You'll probably hear them. You could also run that way yourself, but the problem is you're peeking to a left hand. So you can like run all the way over here, and then here you have a right hand here. But once you get down here, this is left hand all the way. So not a great way to clear parking spawn. Wouldn't recommend that. But finally, you could immediately push straight up to parking switch, which I'll show you now. So you could push immediately up to here, but it's just a gamble on whether or not Skybridge shoots you in the back or not, like whether or not they spawned. But if you want to catch parking off guard, then very often they're coming up these stairs by the time you're around here. And yeah, you can give that a go. It is a left hand though, so not great. Not great. If you just want to farm raiders, I'm going to briefly show you how to get started from every spawn. There are 5 switches which when activated have a chance to spawn raiders. I will show you how to get to the nearest switch from each spawn and where to check for raiders. Look down below in the description for a more comprehensive raider farming guide for labs. Okay, from the top of green side stairs, the quickest way to get to a switch is right down the stairs And just be careful of the potentials of this spawn right here, and possibly under blue stairs, under blue spawn down there. But as long as you're running pretty quick, then you won't have to worry about getting shot from behind. O switch is right in here. Come in here. Hit that. That's medical. And raiders could spawn way down the far end there, or through the dark corridor over there, or even over across at near main switch. And then after O, I would then go to G, which is right in here, and they can spawn in the same areas. So just you want to check all through down there and down there and down there, and then even if you want, go down to main side and check the switches there. For medical switch spawn, we just want to run straight in here immediately. If you're a little bit slow, you might have server spawn looking at you from up there. Hit the switch. I've already hit it. And then come down here. Raiders could spawn all the way down the end of this hall or in the hallway parallel to it. And then just come down here and you can hit G, which is in here. And yeah, raiders from O and G could spawn all the way through here or down near main switch. For the top of blue side stairs, we want to run straight down to the basement. And you got to be careful of the under blue spawn that could be right here, as well as bottom of green side stairs near the medical switch. There could be a spawn there. And by the time you get there, top of green side stairs, if they do want to come down and hit O, then they could come down, or server spawn, hanger ramp spawn could drop down into O switch. So usually what I like to do here is G switch. You can hit that. I usually like to hit O first, which is right down the far end, and then come back and hit G. And either of those, both of those could spawn raiders in this hallway, in the hallway parallel, or down near main switch. And so this is O in here. You'd hit that, you'd hit G, check for raiders, and go over to main side basement if you want. Okay, from under blue, I would run immediately towards O switch. You just gotta be a little bit careful of under medical switch, medical switch spawn down there. So just keep an eye on that door, and they could also shoot you through this little crack. So if you start getting shot at and you have no idea why, then that's where they are. As well as listen for metal for top of green side stairs coming down. And if you're a little bit slow, server spawn could be looking right there. So I would just hit O, then go down the far end of the corridor, and we'll hit G. O and G could spawn raiders in this hallway or in the hallway parallel, as well as near main switch on the other side of the basement. So after hitting these two, this is G right here, and checking for raiders all through here, you could then go to main side basement and have a look. From offices, first floor, I would usually like to push straight to parking. You can either go through here or through there. I think this is a little bit safer. If you immediately run straight off the bat, then you could catch parking spawn out, like running out here on the way up. But just keep an eye on these doors. They spawn closed. If they are open, then you probably have a PMC up here. So just run up here. This is not a guaranteed switch, so it's not guaranteed that it's going to be available. If you can hit it like I can now, the door will open. We may as well hit it. And you could possibly have raiders all around upstairs. So like kitchen, or even by hangar, by server up here. But primarily where you want to be looking is in past those doors, as well as in the short over here, or whatever, SC, whatever you call it. And sometimes, very rarely, they could be in long over there. And also amongst the garden beds. Back down there. Back like through there and to the left. So just have a look around. And then after this switch, I would probably head down to main switch. Which is just down here. Just down here. And this is main switch. Okay, from under managers, you do have two options, either to go to server and drop down to O switch, or to hangar. We'll show you hangar first. Just run up here. You need to be careful of hanger ramp spawn coming through here. You should hear him on the metal though, as well as freezer spawn. Just keep an eye on those two doors. They spawn closed. If they are open, then be very scared. Sometimes hanger ramp spawn will run up here, but you should hit this metal if they're on the top floor. This is hanger switch. This is not a guaranteed switch, so sometimes it will not be available. If you hit it, then raiders could spawn outside of server over there, deep inside, or over here, or like amongst these gardens in lecture, sometimes out right there and above, one usually there, and there, and sometimes over by parking. The other way you can run from under managers is straight to server. It's a little bit more risky because you have a lot more spawns that you're intersecting. Just be careful about getting shot in the back from freezer spawn, and listen out for metal for the top of green side or bottom of green side pushing up, as well as server spawn could be like right there or in the window shooting you as you run down. So if we want to go straight to O switch, we'd jump down here, aim for the ladder so as you reduce your risk of breaking your legs, hit O switch, and then raiders could spawn all the way down the end of this corridor, pathway, hallway, as well as in the one parallel and over near main switch. Then we'd come through here and hit G, and G can spawn raiders in the same area. This is G right there. From parking spawn, generally you'd go up and check parking switch. Really close by. Come out here. Just be careful of the officers, dark officers spawn pushing through here and maybe catching you off guard if they don't painkiller and sprint straight towards you, or they can come through there and up there. We'd run up and hit the switch. This is not a guaranteed switch. It's not guaranteed to be available. If you can hit it, then the main places you want to be checking for raiders are in that area. The door will has raised up, either in there, in short, very unlikely in long, and sometimes like under cat, or among the garden beds over there, like just through here and out there to the right and left. It also can spawn raiders by like server and hangar on the other side of the map, but in this area that's pretty much it. Then if you want to hit another switch, if you hear no raiders, then head down to main switch, which is through here and right here, and this can spawn raiders if you just hug right down past those double doors, as well as in the dark and light corridors at medical side. Now from under parking, the switch I would hit first is main switch, which is just out here and to the right. You gotta be a little bit careful of the main PMC spawn. The main switch spawn could be right there, and also parking spawn could be right there if you sprint straight up. And just be careful following this along, as switch spawn could be slow off the mark. Then you want to come over here, hit main switch, hit that there, and this can spawn raiders back the way we came and past these double doors. It also can spawn raiders in the dark and the light corridors on medical side. Now for main switch, really easy. The switch for main is right here. Hit this, and then come right here, hug to the right. And you got to be careful of the under parking spawn. It could be like right here as you peek this, and parking spawn could be right there. Just be a little bit careful, not too worried about getting shot in the back by the under Skybridge spawn. Make sure you're following around, checking for parking spawn. Raiders could spawn beyond these two doors, as well as in the light and dark corridor over at medical side. To farm raiders from under Skybridge spawn, I would sprint immediately to main switch, which is through here. You immediately have to be careful of parking spawn, which could be showing his head right there, and the under parking spawn, which could be appearing there or beyond these double doors. And if you do peek this, under manager spawn could have ran around here, so be careful of that. And main switch spawn could be like right here, anywhere through here, because they spawn right there. So just clear all your angles. Then hit main switch and hug around to the right. Raiders from main could spawn beyond these double doors or in the light and dark corridors over at medical side. From sewer spawn, this is probably the worst spawn if you want to farm raiders, because the quickest way to switch is the most dangerous way to run. And so if we hug around to the left here, the bad thing about this pathing is that this metal is extremely loud and anyone in medical basement can hear you from it pretty much. And someone can spawn down right there. And what they'll do if they hear you coming, they'll just wait until you get about here. They'll be crouched right there, they'll peek out and they'll kill you. It doesn't matter if there are 5 of you, you have no cover, they'll mow you down. But, you know, if you think you have a low pop server and it's worth the gamble, then why not come down here and hit O switch right there. You got to be careful of like server spawn, could be watching this. Also top of green side stairs, spawn might like run down immediately if they've heard the, or you know, once they've heard the switch. O down there and G, which we're about to hit, could spawn raiders. Just hit G right here. Could spawn raiders in this corridor, in the dark corridor parallel, as well as on main side basement. For hangar ramp spawn, the quickest way to start farming raiders is to go straight up the ramp. You have to be careful of freezer spawn, who could be right up here, right up here. And as soon as you get to the top, the metal is extremely loud, so they will know exactly where you are if they are in the vicinity. You can hit hangar switch. Hangar is not a guaranteed switch. Sometimes it'll be up, sometimes it won't. And raiders from hangar could spawn deep inside. They could spawn out by server, even by parking, all around the map. But where you want to check is deep inside there. Check in the garden bed, like right there, inside lecture, and right there, as well as up here. Usually, if they spawn up here, there's like one there, one there, one there, or this door. If this door is open and you know it was closed before, then there might be 1 or 2 out there, and they could have left a buddy behind in here. So be careful pushing it to here. Okay, from freezer spawn, the quickest path to farming raiders is straight out here. Just be listening for metal for hangar ramp spawn running into server, as well as top of greenside stairs and bottom of greenside stairs running on metal over there. And you might be able to catch out under manager spawn running up. And hangar ramp spawn could be like right there by the time you painkillered and ran out here. So just like pre-aim right there. But anyway, run over here. You can hit hangar. It is not a guaranteed switch. It's not guaranteed to be available. If you can hit it, then jump out here. Raiders from hangar switch can spawn all around the map, but where you want to check is deep inside there, as well as over here, right there, inside lecture, and right there, and then upstairs, either like right there, right there, right there, or if this door is open, there could be 1 or 2 raiders outside, like outside there or outside there, and sometimes they leave a buddy behind. I think he gets stuck or something, usually like right there or somewhere around here. So just be very careful when peeking into there. For Skybridge, the closest switch is also hangar, so we'd run this way, or whichever way you like. But this will be the quickest route to hangar. You can go down these stairs, and you just gotta watch out for freezer spawn as well as hangar ramp spawn. You should hear metal, or they might be like tracking around the back if their intention is to get to red. And just come in here, you can hit hangar. It is not guaranteed that it's going to be available. If you can hit it, then come out here. And raiders from hangar can spawn all around the map, but where you want to check is under here. Right there, inside lecture, and right there. As well as up here, there, and there. And if this door is open, then there could be 1 or 2 raiders outside, as well as a buddy that they left behind in here. From reception spawn, the quickest way to get to a switch is down here through boiler, or whatever you call it, and to hit main switch here. But you need to be careful of the PMC who can spawn literally right here. But if he's not there, hit main switch and hug around to the right. Just be careful of all these angles, because by the time you're here, The under Skybridge spawn could be anywhere around here, as well as under parking spawn could be anywhere through here. And parking spawn could have come around here. Like there. Raiders from main switch could spawn behind these double doors, as well as in the dark and light corridors over at medical side. It's really important to note that even if you get no raiders spawning initially, as time passes, raiders could keep spawning into the raid. There's a chance that more raiders will spawn into the raid, and you should keep checking through the basement and upstairs every now and again, like every maybe 5-10 minutes. Just do a quick loop around, maybe throw some grenades, because raiders will often voice line far away if you've thrown a grenade, and you can hone in on their location and murder them. If you just care about surviving for the guide or your dailies and weeklies, then in this section I'm going to show you the lowest risk route to get to sewer extract, which you should then hold for 7 minutes for the survived status, then extract. The sewer extract will take about 1 minute 24 seconds to open after you have hit the switch, and after that time it will turn green for everyone in the lobby. Since you need to wait until 7 minutes to get the survive status, the earliest you want to hit the switch is 5 minutes and 36 seconds into the raid, for which the current raid time of 35 minutes means you should hit it when the timer says 29:24. If you hit it sooner, then people like myself will see that it is green, notice that it is green before 7 minutes have elapsed, and I will come down and kill you. Sewer extract is the best for survival because no raiders will spawn there, and you have one direction enemies can come from, which means if you're extremely paranoid of players or cheaters, you can bring heaps of nades to spam at the tunnel, buying time for your escape. Okay, from the top of green side stairs, in order to get to sewer, we just want to go straight down the stairs. And be careful of a spawn here, and a spawn down the far end. Run down, listen for metal. And just be careful of running into sewer spawn all the way down here. And this is sewer. Hit the switch and then get out. Okay, from medical switch spawn, all you need to do is run immediately down here to get to sewer, and keep listening out for potentially sewer spawn running towards you. Just make sure. And this is sewer. Hit the switch and extract over there. From the top of blue side stairs, the safest way is to get to sewer is to go straight down here. Watch out for a PMC spawn right there. I would prefer to go through the dark alleyway because you can have PMC spawns down there watching the hallway. Just watch out for over there. And listen for any metal in front of you. And you're at sewer, hit the switch and extract over there. From under blue, the safest way to get to sewer is straight down here. I wouldn't go that way because you can have under black or under server spawn like hanging out in the doorway. When you're coming down here, just listen out for metal all through this area and run away from it. And now we're at sewer, hit the switch there and get out over there. Okay, dark offices. To get to sewer and just survive, this is the most difficult spawn to do it from. Because if you go that way, you run into top and bottom of blue stairs. If you go this way, you run into parking, probably main switch and under parking spawns running up through parking. And if you go in front, then you could have like a lot of people on the balconies shooting down at you, as well as under manager spawn. So what you should maybe do, and I've never really done this because I'm too lazy, is go straight into a toilet here. Just hide for like 10 minutes. Hide for like 10 minutes. Chill here. You'll probably hear glass breaking above you because this is a good loot spot. But as long as you don't make any move, don't ADS, don't swivel, whatever, then there's really no reason for them to check in here unless they're cheating. And yeah. But then after like, honestly, longer the better. Longer the better. The longer you wait, the better. If you wait like, yeah, even 20 minutes, I would probably run this way, because if you go that way and that way, you're more likely to run into raiders and they might bully you. But run this way and we'll take you to sewer. Just be careful of raiders, like 20 minutes into the raid, be careful of raiders down here and down here. But like down in the basement, it's way, way, way easier to deal with them. And through here. And actually, yeah, if you've waited a long period of time already, just take no bag. Just take no bag. I can't drop my bag because I have stims. Just take no bag. However, if you didn't decide to wait a long period of time, then we'll take you to sewer. And now you're at sewer, hit the switch over there and get out there. From under managers, fantastic spawn if you just want to survive. Immediately just run out here, get out to that door ASAP because you can have someone peeking you over there. And just listen for metal in front of you for potentially sewer spawn coming your way. Like right there, maybe. And here is sewer, there's the switch, extractors over there. From parking spawn, the quickest way to get to sewer is straight down here. You just need to watch out right there for PMC come down there, and for main switch spawn down there. Just watch out for under Skybridge spawn over there. We're going to run. Potentially you could have under managers running down here, but they rarely path this way, you know. They spawn in there and they'd rarely come this way. Doesn't make a lot of sense for them to come this way. And just listen out for metal for sewer spawn coming towards you. And we are at sewer. Switch there, extract there. From under parking, the quickest way to sewer is straight down here. You can take either this one or the next one. Both are fine. Just watch out over there. Just watch out for the spawns over there. And listen for metal in front of you for potentially sewer spawn coming your way. And we're at sewer. Switch is there. Extract is over there. From main switch, the quickest way to sewer, safest way, quickest and safest way to sewer, straight down here. Just watch out for the under Skybridge spawn over there. You should be able to hear them. And right there. Always preaim this corner right there. Always. Just preaim all around here. You want to preaim that door, and on the box there. So like right there, there. And then we'll run down here to sewer. And we're at sewer. Switch there. Extract is there. For under Skybridge, you spawn right next to sewer, so it's really easy. Just run down here. Be careful of sewer spawn running towards you. Not guaranteed that they'll spawn there. And this is sewer. The switch is there. Extract is there. And if you're lucky enough to spawn at sewer, just make sure you don't make too much noise, because potentially O-switch spawn can hear you if you like run on metal and stuff. And just make sure not to hit the switch too early, as we said in the intro, because as soon as the water goes down, it comes up green for everyone on the map, and they will know that you're here. So you just want to hit this when you have 1 minute 24 seconds to go. Now for hangar ramp spawn, this is going to be a little bit tough, especially if you have a popping lobby, because the easiest and safest way to get underground is unfortunately through a bunch of spawns. So as you run down here, you got to watch there. And yeah, pretty much YOLO the drop down to switch. So just be watching over there, and there is a risk that medical spawn is still down there and you have to left-hand peek it. But most of the time, so they spawn there. Most of the time, they've gone up. They've gone up the stairs, and you can safely come down here and run to sewer. And so now you're at sewer spawn. There is the sewer extract. There's the switch, and the extract right there. Okay, from freezer spawn, what we're going to do is run immediately down here. Just watch this Skybridge in front of you, because Skybridge spawn could be pushing out. They pretty much never look this way. Like, pretty much never. They'll usually just run across. And then just be careful of spawns coming up from the basement, like right there. And like right down there. And we just want to hug this around to the right. And we'll get to sewer. Now we're at server extract. The switch is there, and the extract is right over there. Okay, from Skybridge spawn, if you have enough strength, you need like 45, 50, something like that. Jump up here and go straight down. Make sure to land on the garden bed, and then go down to the basement. But if you don't have enough strength, immediately run down here and go down these stairs. Just be careful of reception spawn. You might hear them on wood, but you can probably get around here before they come through. And keep an eye on there and down here, and as you hug around to the right for other spawns. Now we're at the entrance to sewer. We just ran down to the end, and we'll be at sewer extract. Yeah, so in that sense, and now we're at sewer extract. There's the switch, and the extract is right there. Now, from reception spawn, the quickest way to sewer, quickest and safest way to sewer, go straight down here. Just watch out for Skybridge spawn, which could be coming down these steps, and they could also be like jumping out of here. So just watch out for this. Jump through here. Keep an eye on down here, because there could be basement spawns running towards you. Unlikely though. And follow this around. Keep an eye on a spawn that could spawn right there. Now we're at sewer entrance. All we need to do is run down to the end, and we'll be at the sewer extract. And now we're at sewer extract. There's the switch, and there is the extract. While you are playing labs, try to notice how populated your raids generally are. On low pop servers, where at most 4 separate PMC spawn locations are being taken up, you can usually expect to have 1 spawn per quadrant of the map. However, on high pop servers, where you have 5+, you should expect to hit multiple players in your quadrant. So if you're on low pop server, you could immediately go and check the other quadrants. However, if you're on a high pop server, I would play way slower off spawn, taking care to check all of your angles and all of the close by spawns. So when I'm checking for other PMCs in my raid, I have a set routine that I do from every spawn. Basically, what I'm checking for is if doors around here are open. So if this door is open, if there are any doors, and that's red office door, if there are any doors through kitchen which are open, and then you could either go this way to parking or that way to server. We'll just, for this example, we'll go this way. We want to check if this door is open, it spawns closed, because that's where parking spawn or main tab basement spawns could run through. If these doors are open, because that's where parking spawn, main tab basement spawns could run up and often hit these, loot these. Check if those doors are open. If these are open, because sometimes they'll run straight towards medical side. And then we'll head to medical side. If you feel like running all the way over here, you can check if these are open, because someone could spawn right there and run straight to medical side. They usually leave one of those doors open. To check if someone has hit center, then look for these doors. These spawn closed. Both the manager doors spawn closed. And the weapon testing doors spawn closed, and pretty much everyone leaves them open. Then finally, for medical side, where you want to check is right down here. These spawn closed. as well as this one. This one spawns open, but everything else closed. So from whatever your spawn is, you want to check those those main doors, and just try to memorize like the spawn position of every door in the map, because then that'll make your life easier when it comes to figuring out where players are going, if there are players, you know, stuff like that. And also with raiders, tracking raiders. If all these doors that you've checked are closed, it doesn't guarantee that you have no other players in your raid. There could be people lurking in the basement, so check around. You know, if you want to be a little bit more paranoid, do a loot through the basement, but I would just probably start looting, killing raiders, and just be mindful that you might have a player stinking around. Good luck. So you will get different audio cues while you're deploying, and so this wind that you hear right now will mean that you're either in the green side, the top of green side, or the top of blue side stairs. Another audio cue that you get is this hum that you can hear right now. I get this hum at under manager spawn, and you get a hum at main switch spawn, but you might notice it's a little bit quieter, and we get a hum at reception spawn, but it's a little bit quieter than under managers. Similar volume to main switch spawn. Knowing where you're going to spawn in from the audio cues can help. Say if you're in a squad, you might plan out where you're going to split up straight off the bat, because the first 20 seconds of the raid are really crucial, in particular in high pop service.